This video was in direct response to the government plant, the troll of all trolls, the one, the only, Tyler from Secure Team 10. Now check this out. Now I followed Tyler for many, many years. He inspired me to embrace my weirdness, right? But after a couple years, I started taking a closer look at some of his videos and some of the things he was saying. I was disappointed. I found out he was faking quite a few of his videos. But nonetheless, I was still entertained. And, I wasn't ready to, write him off quite yet. He still did offer a unique take on the UFO experience. But let's go ahead and let's fast forward to the Intel assessment on UAPs, the unidentified aerial phenomenon. And for the past few months, it's been brewing and bubbling underneath the surface. People were talking about it. It was on mainstream news, and it was like us believers could come out and talk about how we felt and not get looked at as weirdos, And things eventually reached a fever pitch. It was all over the place. Fox News, CNN,
ABC, NBC, PBS.
Everywhere you looked, the discussion of alien beings visiting Earth was all over the place. And not only was the government just not ignoring the subject, they weren't denying it either, which could possibly be the truth, right? According to Tyler, all this was going to just fizzle out, and it was going to be a big old nothing. It was a waste of time. The government was going to give the same old song and dance, how they can neither confirm nor deny, how there's no records, etc., etc., etc. Right? Like, this was no big deal. Like, it was no big deal that the discussion of UFO life here on Earth was not being discussed in a professional, non-comedic manner on TV and in our freaking government. All right? No big deal, right? Right, Tyler? This was not a huge step towards disclosure, right, Tyler? But see, I had to ask myself, what's wrong with Tyler? Why is he so pessimistic about this issue? And then it dawned on me. I was watching his videos a couple weeks back when he first started coming out, shooting shade at what's going on here. And the way he said Jeremy Corbell's name, it was almost like he was jealous that he's the one to have pushed this issue to the national forefront. You could hear it in his voice, the way he was talking about the video, doing his very best to get this, debunk the videos that we were getting. That's right, one of our guys was trying to debunk a government-released UFO video. Why? That's what they do. The reason being is because he wants Jeremy Corbell to go crashing down in flames, and he wants him to be an embarrassment. He wants to stand above Jeremy Corbell while he's down drinking his tears and saying, "Ha ha, you didn't do nothing. I'm still the only one that matters when it comes to this shit." Hearing the way he talks about it, his latest video, how happy he is that he thinks there was nothing in this report that meant anything, it's sickening. Come on, Tyler. Now look, okay, check this out. Look, it is understandable for Tyler to be upset, all right? Because, like I said, he's been doing this for years. I'm gonna take a hit of my cigarette. Talking too much. He's been doing this for years. He's put in a lot of work, and even though he's gotten, a few mentions in a few media publications, he hasn't really done much to push the conversation to the mainstream. And to my regular viewers and listeners, I'm sorry. We're gonna take a little bit. We're gonna take a detour out the normal subject matter. Most of the viewers that are gonna find their way to this video are probably gonna be from the comment section in Tyler's latest video. And I do want to welcome you guys to Dub Didnt's wonderful world of Dub Didntness. But I'm gonna go ahead and advise you to keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times, and don't go wandering too far. Because you might not make it out once you start going through my content. Alright, be forewarned. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at the report that the Intelligence Committee released, and let's see how big of a nothing this really is. Alright, Tyler, open your ears up, buddy. And everybody else, kick back, relax, open up a nice Coca-Cola on this warm summer day, and let's go ahead and let's dive into the shit. Alright? Let's do it.
It is your
Put 'em in
content
the
that
soup.
sucks.
Hey, you know what? You're fired.
You burned out fool. You are telling me what
Get
to
the fuck
say.
out of here.
Later, bitch.
This mother. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's jump into the first important part. Goddamn robot. In this opening paragraph, it goes on to say that the data set described in this report is currently limited primarily to the U.S. government reporting of incidents occurring from November 4th to March of 2021. Data continues to be collected and analyzed. So that right there tells you that for the first time in many years, the government is coming out and saying that there still is, in fact, a functioning department of the government that studies and analyzes UFO and UFO phenomena. In past years, these types of programs were, in fact, denied. You know, or if they did open one, it'd be open for a couple years, and then they would come out and tell us, oh, it's been closed down, we found nothing. And everything would be classified. So that in itself is big news. Okay, now on this next section, it's not too important, but let me go ahead and read it. It says, a limited number of incidents, UAP reportedly appeared to exhibit unusual flight characteristics. These observations could be the result of sensor error, spoofing, or observer misperception, and require additional rigorous analysis. So this means that if a pilot saw an unidentified flying aircraft going at 20 times the speed of sound, chances are that he may not know what 20 times the speed of sound literally looks like, and he's using his best his best guess to guess how fast it's moving. Okay, so that's what it's saying there. It's saying that some of the information may not have been reported some of the information may not have been reported accurately, and this includes information that was received from, satellites and radars and things like that. They even mentioned spoofing in there, and I thought that was interesting. If it is, a Chinese or a Russian aircraft, they could have the ability to mess around with our sensors and make us think that they're going faster than they are, or that they're disappearing and reappearing. And that's not anything out of the realm of possibility. That could be the truth. And that's what we have to accept, that perhaps the government is just as confused as us. We have to accept that they may be trying their very best to solve this. Let's go ahead and let's see what else is in this treasure trove, this very rare treasure trove, despite what Tyler says. Okay, and there's another section here that I find very interesting. Very, very interesting. And it basically goes into the categories of these UAP incidents. And it says that they are resolved, they will fall into one of the 5 potential explanatory categories. Airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomena, USG or U.S. industry development programs, which is top secret weapons and planes and stuff like that, foreign adversary systems, and get this, a catch-all other bin. This means that it can't be explained. It's aliens or UFOs or witches, demons, angels, interdimension, just everything else goes in there. Alright, so if it doesn't fall into the other categories of something explainable, it goes with the out of this world type of shit. I thought that was pretty funny. But okay, let's move on from that. Just wanted to point that out. This next one though, this one's a little bit more serious. And I can't say that I agree with the tactic, but it does make sense. It says, after carefully considering the information, the UAPTF, which is the Unexplained Aerial Phenomena Task Force, focused on reports that involve UAP largely witnessed firsthand by military aviators, and that they were collected from systems we consider to be reliable. This means that most of the reports that they were basing this report on were from military servicemen and women, trained pilots for the government. Understand? I guess they feel that they're more reliable than the average citizen, but not to mention that they have tools and all kinds of systems to help back up their claims. So it does make sense, but we got to remember there are a lot of reports all over the United States of people seeing different things. And, I understand, a lot of people aren't trained to recognize what's what, but I think they're missing a huge opportunity there by only focusing on what's available through the government. I mean, if you look on YouTube, there are a lot of videos even posted by Tyler and his people of strange objects, but they don't look at those. But anyways, it says these reports describe incidents that occurred between 2004 and 2021, with the majority coming in the last 2 years as the new reporting mechanism became better known to the military aviation community. And I wonder what that means. The new reporting mechanism. Does that mean the new reporting protocol? Or is there something that they're using anytime a UAP shows up? A standard issue camera or who knows what. But it doesn't really go into too much explanation. I mean, I may just be reading too much into it. But anyways, it says we were able to identify one reported UAP with high confidence. In that case, we identified the object as a large deflating balloon. The others remain unexplained. So does that mean out of 144 cases that they were only able to say for sure that one of them was something ordinary? That's crazy. That says a lot, Tyler. I don't even know what to make of that myself. Maybe it goes into further explanation in this report. I don't know. This is the first time that I'm reading it, right? So it says 144 reports originated from USG sources. Of those, 80 reports involved observations with multiple sensors. Okay, so that means out of all of them, 80 of them had radar identifying information to go with it. All right, or any other sensors. I'm not familiar with what sensors they use, but I'm sure there's a ton of them. Most reports describe UAP as objects that interrupted pre-planned training or other military activity. So I guess this points to maybe it being one of our adversaries. Somebody that has information on when and where we're going to be, and they send these little tic-tacs over there. And to me, say what you want, but it really looks like they're trying to give us as much information as they can without putting out the classified stuff out there. The stuff that relates to our training and our protocols and things like that. The government doesn't have a good track record for being truthful with us. But this is different. This is not just something that's about a secret weapon or a secret plane. I mean, this is earth-changing information. This is something that can change mankind overnight. And these, you got to remember, these people are these people in the government, they're people too. They're humans also, and they're going to be impacted. They're going to be impacted by this as well. If it ever comes out to be something out of this world, But at the same time, they have a job to remain responsible, professional, and uphold their duties. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's see what else it says here. Okay, social culture stigmas and censor limitations remain obstacles to collecting data on UAP, although some technical challenges such as how to appropriately filter out radar clutter to ensure safety of flight for military and civilian aircraft are long-standing in the aviation community, but others are unique to the UAP problem set. Okay, and this is going over UAP challenges, and this is very surprising to see in the government report. Socio-cultural stigmas. This means that pilots are afraid or embarrassed to report these sorts of things, and this limits the amount of information that we have on them. Okay, this is, I guess, maybe something that they're going to start addressing within the military, because before, you couldn't report these things without being made fun of or fired. And now that they're starting to take this serious, that they're starting to see that it's counterproductive. All right. Furthermore, it says narratives from aviators in the operational community and analysis from the military and IC describe disparagement associated with observing UFOs, reporting it or attempting to discuss it with colleagues. I'm sorry, I meant UAPs. Well, no, I didn't. I knew what I said. So what they're saying again is that people that have some rank, that are well known, so on and so on, are made fun of or receive just general grief for reporting this information or attempting to discuss it with colleagues. It's, it's like these policies and this stance on reporting UFOs, I feel, was implemented by the government. And now they're looking at it like, oh, wow, look, you know what? Hey, that's a problem in us finding out what it really is. Stupid. Very stupid. Although the effects of the stigmas have lessened, the senior members of the scientific, policy, military, and intelligence communities engage on the topic seriously in public, reputational risk may keep many observers silent, complicating scientific pursuit of the topic. So I hope this changes. I hope they're going to start implementing some changes within the military, so that way pilots and people who observe this sort of thing can feel free to report it without worrying about being, made fun of or whatever the case. Okay, and the rest of it has to do with their limitations of the equipment on the U.S. military platforms. They're not designed for tracking alien objects or things of this nature. So even though they're good for, seeing the size and shape and direction and things like that, that's all they're good for. They're saying that they don't have everything that they need on military craft to document what it is that they're interacting with. Okay? Jesus, this report says so much. And you might see it in the media, ladies and gentlemen. You might see a lot of people trying to downplay it. But if you take the time to read it and you understand what is being said, it's crazy. Never did I think that we'd be at this point. But let's keep moving on. Then I'll offer my final thoughts afterwards, all right? And I most definitely will have some final thoughts. I'll tell you that. This stuff is crazy. But, okay. In 18 incidents described, 21 observers reported unusual UAP movement patterns or flight characteristics. This means the typical making sharp turns, stopping, and then going, and things like that. Some UAP appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, I always had trouble saying that word, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. Meaning there's no signs of jets in the plane, there's no signs of propellers or anything like that, and they seem to just move at crazy speeds. Now, in a small number of cases, military aircraft systems processed radio frequency energy associated with the UAP sightings. What does that mean? I don't know. Are they remote controlled from somewhere else? Are they trying to contact them and with radio frequencies that we can't figure out, that we can't decrypt or analyze? That right there is very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, so they're not just balls of metal or whatever it is. There's some sort of energy coming out of it. Not and I don't mean like propulsion energy or any kind of weapons energy. It's radio frequency. And that can have a number of meanings. The UAPTF holds a small amount of data that appear to show UAP demonstrating acceleration or degree of signature management. Additional rigorous analysis are necessary by multiple teams or groups of technical experts to determine the nature and validity of these data. We are conducting further analysis to determine if breakthrough technologies were demonstrated. Okay, so what they're saying is, despite what we see on the video, despite how crazy it looks for things making turns and stopping and going, they're going to have experts really take a look at things and see, is it possible with the kind of technology we have here on Earth that we know about to do these sorts of things? So this is mind-blowing. I can't believe Tyler was just that jealous. He skipped over all of this. No respect for that guy. None. Okay, next section. Next point. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I had to put it on pause just to go over the remainder of the document. And it doesn't really say too much more other than that, starting back in late 2020, the military started giving pilots 6-month training courses and reporting UAPs, how they're trying to normalize this across the entire military, not just the Air Force, and how they're gonna keep on top of it supposedly, and how more money, of course, will help them unlock this mystery. But is this document the smoking gun that we were looking for? No, it wasn't. But it wasn't a big waste of time, because the things that were said in this document were things that we would never dream of hearing the U.S. government discuss. And it sounds like they're absolutely confused, just like all of us. They're a government organization. They have to use facts to determine what's what. Otherwise, they're just guessing. Okay, now, if you're them and you're looking at these videos of these balls of light doing crazy things, what is it about that ball of light that says alien on it? The way it moves? Well, they're gonna do some tests. We're gonna figure out what's possible and what isn't. And if they can recreate those movements, does that rule out aliens? No, it doesn't. But it adds to the mystery, because now it's given us the possibility that could possibly be something earthbound, just like it's something spacebound. So while we're no closer to finding out the truth, you can tell by this document that the U.S. government is finally, after all these years, starting to take a more public stance on this. They're telling their pilots, okay, look, if you see something, this is what we're going to do. Okay, they're going to hopefully change the nature of UFO reporting in general. Instead of getting people laughed at when they report these types of sightings, they're going to be taken serious. And this isn't to make anybody feel good or feel better, but it's to allow them to collect the information a lot easier, to collect more information. This document is very carefully worded, but nowhere in here do they straight out say, no, it is not aliens. Okay, they're giving us the information that they have, even if it's a classified version of it. And, they need to have some solid proof of what it is before they come out and tell us. They made the mistake in the past, and they blamed these sorts of things on swamp gases and, all the other excuses we used to hear. They're not doing that anymore. No longer is it a weather balloon. If they're going to come out and say, ladies and gentlemen, this is aliens, they're going to need more proof than something just flying around. All right? And if they were aliens, maybe they don't want to make contact with us. Maybe they don't want us to figure out who they are. Have you thought about that? Maybe they don't care about what the government thinks if we're ready or not. Maybe it's up to them. If aliens wanted us to know they were here, they'd definitely give us a sign on a wide scale. It's we're headed for some interesting times. NASA's getting involved with this. It's like we can, us in the UFO believing community can finally let out a sigh of relief, knowing that, okay, look, we're no longer considered crazy, unless we make ourselves seem crazy. You know, that's something that a lot of people in our community tend to do. They tend to go out on far out theories that have no basis in any kind of fact. All right, we need to stop being like that. You think they're like that? You think the aliens are like that? No, they study. I mean, they've been studying us for thousands of years, supposedly. And maybe they still don't feel like they know enough about us to make contact. Which could be true. I mean, we're constantly changing as a species, whether it's for the better or the worst. But Tyler, you missed a huge opportunity here, man, and your jealousy is doing the community a big disservice. Okay, this report isn't a big nothing like you're claiming it is. Okay, because we're all only human, all of us. Okay, and you expect any one of us to figure out the secret of life, the secret of the universe, and just hide it from everybody? Bro, report the facts. That's why Jeremy Corbell got shit moving. Because he wasn't... y'all know what I'm getting at. Alright. Anyways, that's all I got. This is a long audio file, so I'm probably definitely going to do some editing on here. But I hope to get this out as soon as possible. And to my regular listeners, I got like 3 or 4 other videos that I'm working on for y'all. Just got to get those edited. And yeah, dub out.